qualities of leadership?
Surround with people that are stronger and better.
Go back to the beginning a bit.
It's a very painful experience. Persistency, I think that's very important.
It is an absolute pleasure to have you here on the show, Mr. Lim. And first of all, congratulations on winning the Vistage Lifetime Achievement Award. Could you talk to us, what does winning this award mean to you?
Actually, I didn't really expect to win this. So when my chair Richard came to me and asked me that I'm nominated to go for it. So would I want to give it a try? I said yes. But I really didn't expect it to be a Lifetime Achievement Award. But anyway, it's a pleasant surprise to me. What does winning means to me? I guess more like a self-acknowledgement, because what happened is I've been doing this for many years. No one really, like your team of people, especially your colleague, your staff, they're not going to run up to you and say, boss, you did well.
Did a great job.
Yeah, great job. Hardly you get recognition like that. Shareholders, they always expect you to do better, so they won't come and tell you that you did a good job. So I guess winning this somehow is an assurance to myself that hey, you're not doing too bad. So it's a long way to go, but you're not doing too bad. So I think that to me is kind of important. And the second thing, I think, is also acknowledgement to my family. I think for the sacrifice, for the support they have given me. So throughout this period of time, more so also to my people, my team of people. I think without them, I would not be able to do what I'm able to today and winning this. And most importantly, Vistage, guiding, looking after me, monitoring, making sure that I continue to move on to the goal that I want to achieve. I think that itself means that winning this is just not me, but it's making me to think of others that have helped me along the way.
All right, we'll talk about that a bit later on, but I want to go back to the beginning a bit. Yee Lee as a company, it has started with very humble beginnings back in the 1970s. Now it's a major player in the FMCG industry. What do you think were the key factors that helped with the growth of Yee Lee from such a small player to become a major distributor in this country right now?
First and foremost, I think the good team of people to every organization. If you don't have a good team of people, I don't think you'll be able to achieve much. I think that is important. Second thing is we have a good foundation. We are in the FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. Network is very important to us. Distribution. We have easily now today 20 to 30,000 accounts that we are servicing, and all this account takes time to build. Trust, relationship, it's something that you need to build. It's not something that you can have overnight. So I think that itself is also very important. Third thing, I think leaders with sheer determination. The founder, my dad, started this business. I think probably at the time, there's no such thing as a vision, mission statement, stuff like this. They just want to do something. And that sheer determination is what he has. And then that is what somehow propelled us to move forward. And I can still see a lot of leaders today in our companies to have that kind of characteristic. So I think that is also very important. Fourth, I think product development. We started with cooking oil. Then along the way, we also started with mineral water. We keep thinking of what products that we can offer to the market, because we are basically bringing everyday needs to the people in the market. So it's like you cannot stay put with one, so you have to continue to develop. I think lastly also, I think from a family business and propel us to where we are today. Very importantly is we start in the last 10, 20 years especially, we started to collaborate and work with stronger and better partners. So in the past, we only deal with our own products. But in the last 20 years, we start working with multinational companies. Like today, we have Campbell, Arnott's being one of our longest principal. We also have TCP, the Red Bull, as our partners. So I think working with a better and stronger partners will definitely open up your horizon and making you see things wider and actually get you to the next level. So these are some of the factors that I think are important.
Running a business has so much ups and downs. Like you said, it's like a 50-year journey for your company and personally yourself, quite a number of decades. How do you handle tough times and setbacks? What keeps you motivated to bounce back?
People around you, I guess that's very important. You always want to surround yourself with people that are stronger and better than you. When you're down, when you're with people like that, they manage to lift you up. They will be able to inspire you to get up and then do it all over again. So I think that is very important. So you probably want to surround yourself with good people, strong people, not only just in your workplace, but also out there in the community, your friends. You must have people like that that will continue to lift you up and carry on. Second thing, I think, very importantly, I think when you start something, be it business or project or anything, you always have set up what are the objectives that you would like to achieve at the end of the day. When things don't go well and then you start to feel like you are not achieving it, you always go back to that again and ask yourself, why did I even start this at the first place? You revisit some of these objectives that you have. Then you tell yourself that, hey, you know what, if we are still there with our course, let's get back on track again. But if whatever that we have set for ourselves and whatever that we are saying here is actually two different things, maybe there's time for you to want to rethink and should you still carry on. So it's like everything that you do, you probably want to have that objective set up clearly. So when you somehow face some difficulties and what you term as failure, you always go back to that drawing board and ask yourself, is it still worth doing it? So I think that also itself is important. I think lastly, I think Vistage, the support system provided by Vistage really helped. So I think that's how usually when I come to, like you say, failure and stuff like this, how do I get over it? These are the...
Okay, so having good people around you, support system, and also clear mission. All right, so I wonder, in your experience, have you ever felt like you ever wanted to give up in your business or face a really, really challenging time?
Oh yeah.
Too many. Could you pick one? Let me know if something that was so memorable to you that really changed you or hardened you as a business person.
I think I talked about we start to collaborate with multinational company and others. So it's a very painful experience. It's like sometimes knowing their principal, we are just a distributor. Sometimes there come a point that they will, this have to end. So it's always pretty hard when that happened, especially when it first happened, because that's the first time I was dealing with stuff like this. You're like, overnight, this is gone. It's hard. It's hard to accept that. It's hard to face your people. It's hard to face the shareholders. Like overnight, a big business is just out the door. Yeah, that is bad. And because that's the first time you're dealing with it, you never had that experience before, so you kind of feel upset and disappointed, frustrated with yourself, and
but ultimately you still had to carry on.
Oh yes.
Okay, so I think you've definitely gone through some difficult times. Leading I think through good times is great, but leading through the bad times is the true testament of leadership, right? So in your opinion, what are the qualities of leadership that is important to you, especially when facing challenging times?
Persistency, I think that's very important. So when you set something that you wanted to do, I think you have to be very persistent about it. That is one thing. Second thing is patience. We must give time. with much. Also give chances for people to learn or even to fail. So I somehow have that patience. A lot of people also see that I sometimes being too much of it, and they kind of tell me that's not a good thing. But I have that. I kind of think that's important in my organization to have that, allowing people to try, to give them time, to also allow them to fail, and then to get back up again. Yeah, one thing is listening. There's one thing that if we were to learn from Vistage, like our chairperson always say, listening is very important. So when I first joined Vistage, I think it's like Richard called himself like chief listener, something like this. We are like, huh, what is this? But I think listening is very important because a lot of people don't want to listen to others. They just have their own opinion, they just have their own ways, their style and all this. But I feel that a good listening skill is important, more so for a leader. Because when I went into this business, a lot of these people were already there. So you must be able to listen to them, know what is their pain point, know what is their thought, know what is the experience that you can kind of pick and internalize. Things like this. So I think listening skill become very important too. So the last thing I think is you really have to keep doing it, not giving up, show people that this is okay, we can do it. So I think that is important for a leader, I mean, in my organization.
Okay. Now, I want to speak about Vistage a bit, since you mentioned you started joining them, I think it was back in 2001. But I understand it wasn't a smooth sailing or straightforward path for you, with Vistage. Can you share some of those interesting twists and turns that you've encountered along the way?
All right, first joined Vistage because I'm from Ipoh. So at that time, there's no, I don't think there is any until now in Ipoh. Anyway, that time I was joining the Penang group. Maybe I'm not ready. I know they were good, the chair were good, I remember. But just that maybe I'm not too ready for it. So I went in, I came out, I went in, I came out. So it wasn't very long. It was like I joined for a few months, maybe a year, then I drop out and then I rejoin again. Then one fine day, Richard Wong, the chief, came and asked me to meet up again in KL. Then he's like, hey Young, what's wrong? You join and then you left and then you join. So he said, why don't you come to KL? After all, you need to travel anyway. You're not going to Penang, going to KL. Why don't you join the KL group? So I'm like, okay. He said, join my group. Come to my group. I'll be the person who will look after you. So I'm like, okay, So I give it a try. Frankly, it wasn't what I expected. When I first joined, I'm like, I feel out of place because I felt that there are a lot of them, they're already up there. So I struggled again. So after a few months, I told Richard, hey, I don't think this is going to work out again, so I'm sorry. But interestingly, Richard said, hey, Young, why don't we do this? So he said, why don't we go for a trip all together? And then after that, you decide what you like to do. For our group, we always have retreat every year, except the COVID time. So that is the first time I joined them. Interestingly, I think that trip really broke the ice. Because when you're in a Vistage meeting, sometimes you feel it's too business, a bit serious. But when you go to a trip like that, you kind of start to understand the person differently. You kind of spend a bit more time with them to know them other than the business setting. So I think that itself opened up and that itself make you feel like, hey, you know what? I think this is a pretty cool group to be in. And Vistage, if you don't share, you don't get much. You must be able to open up and trust your fellow.
Be vulnerable.
Yes. So you have to, otherwise it's like you just keep it to yourself, you don't tell anyone anything, you just refuse to share and all this, then you're not going to get much out of it. So the minute you can start doing that, then you see a lot of values will be coming. So I think from there, yeah, then
You found your home
yeah,
for
then,
the next
yeah,
20 years, 23 years.
I'm with them so until today. So
Okay, so quite
yeah.
some time now. What makes Vistage so valuable to you, professionally and also personally?
Personally, I like that we have meetings every month. So to me, it's like a getaway. Attending Vistage meeting is allowing you time to like not doing your business. You know, you have one day of the month that you can go into something that you feel is fun, is something that you feel that you can learn, something that you can also, you know, share with all your fellow members there. So it's like a getaway that that I look forward to.
Okay.
We went Mouth Kiki together. We went to Everest Base Camp together. So we have golf tournament, and even we break out into small groups, like subgroups who has interests and hobbies like diving. You know, we will go to diving together. So some who likes marathon and stuff like this. Then, so it's like besides this big group, we personally can also go into different subgroup if you want to. So that is very interesting. So it's like personally, you feel like this is a very fun and interesting group to be in, and you get to learn something. And every month, it's like you have a breakout session to go enjoy and have a bit of fun before you go back to work again. So that is
on the personal side. Okay.
Personal side.
Professionally?
Professionally, I think, again, Vistage, they are serious about what we are doing at work. So they will help you accountable for things like you say you'll be doing, projects and projects that you are undertaking. So they will be questioning you, they will be challenging you, they will be asking you, why are you doing this? They are like another board of directors to me. So I think professionally, they actually do that to you on a monthly basis. So to make sure that you continue to grow. And on top of that, there are a lot of sharings by so many of them. So a lot of times you get to hear solution from different people in different industry, and maybe some of them you can actually apply it in your environment. And also very important thing that have been happening is this resource speaker. So Richard, always organize resource speaker to come to our group to give us talks about what is happening out there, be it ESG, ChatGPT, stuff like this.
New trends. And
correct. So that make you, stay abreast with what is happening out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, talking about staying abreast, just switching back to the company Yee Lee for a moment. You've got such a diverse group. You're in trading, you're in manufacturing, FMCG, and even hospitality. How is Yee Lee still evolving under your leadership, and how do you see it growing in the future?
I think Yee Lee, I like to see it this way. Yee Lee is like a company that is bringing everyone's their everyday's need. So whatever that we've been doing, be it our eager cooking oil, springs and mineral water, those are needs. Those are not something that people want. It's necessity. So if you really look at all the products that we are carrying, those are like mainly household products. So even right to our partners like Campbell, all those Prigos, Kimbo sauces, Red Bull energy drink, we would like to continue to look at that area. So it's like, can we provide everyday's need to a bigger community? So if we were to be able to manufacture, we will. But if we don't, then we'll work with others that that can give us these products and then providing this to our consumer. So that is something that I envision really to continue to grow. And also, I guess very importantly, we are serving a bigger community. We have a lot of accounts to serve. So do the last mile delivery is very important, because how to reach to our consumer hands, to the retailer. So that is a challenge that we continue to face, but we continue to invest in. So that is also one part of the business that I see we would like to focus.
Okay.
So these are the few things that I think will continue to drive us to grow.
Plenty of exciting things happening in the future for you.
Yes.
So besides business achievements, I wonder, what do you hope your personal legacy will be, or for you, your community, your family, or even your company? Have you thought about it?
So you go back to the company name again. I think Yee. I think Yee itself again. My dad always like to talk about, no, you must first have Yee, then only have Lee. So that itself, I think, is the value that I would like to, maybe pass on to the family members and to all the bigger community if I can. My dad also, as a company, we help schools to raise funds. This is something that as far as I can remember, my dad has been doing that when I was so to him, and also now to me, I think education is important. So you must help as much as you could to make sure people receive good education in any way that you can. So more so for your family, but if you can do it for a bigger community, why not? So I think that's something that quite dear to me. I think that's something that we look at seriously. And one thing that my dad always liked to tell me, which I think is very important. So he always say that if you don't leave money to the next generation, make sure you don't leave any debt behind. So I think that is also very important.
It's a good advice.
Yes. So I think that itself is also a very good piece of advice that I think I must remember.
So on this show this year, we have a tradition where the previous guest leaves a question for the next person that comes on the show. So the previous guest before you was Mr. Tan Ji Chia of Xiang Electricals. So his question to you is, what do you think are the opportunities and threats in the market in the coming year? And what are you going to do about it? Maybe you can start with threats first. What do you think could be disruptive to your business in the coming year?
All right, you can see that a lot of consumers right now don't really walk into the shop to buy anymore. So, and more so, I think during the COVID time, this have changed the consumer pattern, especially the younger generation. So they are very used to just going into Shopee, Lazada, and all those things to go and do the shopping. So that itself will be kind of a threat to us, because we are very used to going to service all the pub and mom store, all the convenience chains, petrol mart and all those things. So for us, we also must be able to start embracing and digitalize our business. Opportunities also is if you look at it, it's also opportunities. Because why? It's because we already have our network. Again, I have said that before. It's we already have a network that's already out there. So we have multiple warehouses that's located throughout the country, and we are still looking for opportunity to do that. So what we are trying to do now is also on top of just servicing this bricks and mortar kind of outlet and all those things, we are also trying to find ways to also do the last mile, like I say, to deliver to the consumer hand. So these are the things and opportunities that I see that we can invest and we can continue to expand on because of the existing network we have. Imagine today if we don't have that, it will be very challenging. But because of the 50 over years of network that we have already built, the basic infrastructure, the system, the process, they are more or less there. So I think we can actually, we are at the platform that we can actually do something about it and strengthen it. So that I think will be a good opportunity for us.
Wonderful. So, and finally, what is that one question that you would like to ask the next Vistage CEO or leader that comes on the show?
I think the question I have for the next person I don't know who is that gonna be. Yeah, I like to ask this question. It's like, given the chance, if you were to do this all over again, would you do the same thing again? Would you choose this path, or would you want to do something different? I think that would be the questions I have for the whoever that's going to come next.
All right, that's a wonderful question.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Lim, for spending some time to talk to us
right.
about the group and also your ambitions to bring the group to the next level. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Great to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.